Coming right up, Straight Talk with Art Levine. Our guest tonight, Lou Anne Bynum, Vice President of the Long Beach Board of Harbor Commissioners, and Mario Cordero, the Executive Director of the Port of Long Beach, as we continue our 25th anniversary year.
Straight Talk is brought to you in part by the Port of Long Beach, a leader in international trade and environmental stewardship. And the Press Telegram, your local news leader for over 100 years. And Scan Health Plan, for your health and independence.
Join us for tonight's edition of Straight Talk. And now your host, Art Levine.
Good evening and welcome to Straight Talk. We have a great show for you tonight, focused on the Port of Long Beach. Our first guest is Lou Anne Bynum, who is the Vice President of the Long Beach Board of Harbor Commissioners. Lou Anne, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Art. It's great to be here.
You have a new Executive Director, Mario Cordero, who himself was a former Harbor Commissioner, and you, as a member of the board, selected Mario to be the Executive Director. This was a much coveted position. How did you wind up selecting Mario?
Well, we're thrilled to have Mario with us. It's a pivotal time for us in the Port of Long Beach. This is a big, important decision for us, probably the most important decision that the Board of Harbor Commissioners will make. We wanted someone that knows the industry very well, has deep knowledge of the industry, that understands our customers and their needs, that is responsive to the Commission as well as responsive to our community. Mario has a very interesting past experience and brings a lot of different skill sets and assets, I think, to this job that is important for us. He served as a Harbor Commissioner in the past, so he's been on the government.
He's been in your seat.
He's been in my seat on the governance side of it, which gives him a different lens to the job that he's doing now. He served for 6 years on the Federal Maritime Commission, was chair of that commission for 4 years.
And that regulates all ocean-going trade across the Pacific?
It does. It's one of the global regulatory agencies. In that role, from our perspective, Mario knows all of our key critical stakeholders, the beneficial cargo owners, the retailers that drive the supply chain, our customers, the shipping lines, labor. So Mario has a broad experience that really does bring a lot of things together for us in this role. We did a national search, and it wasn't a requirement to come from Long Beach, but Mario is from Long Beach, and I think that's just icing on the cake for us. He knows our community, he knows the city, he knows the regional politics as well as the national politics, so I think we were very fortunate to be able to have him on board.
You're right. He and his wife Gloria are very much integral to the Long Beach community. So that's a nice added plus, although, as you say, not a requirement. What are some of the challenges that you see that he and the board will have to face?
Well, I think everybody is aware of the changing dynamics in the industry. You know, for us, we want to not only maintain our market share, but we want to be able to grow that. We want to make sure that 1 in 8 jobs in Long Beach comes from port-related activities. That's very important. So we want to be able to continue to grow jobs. We also are looking towards our green port policy is driving us towards near zero and zero emissions into the future. Those things are going to be difficult, but they're achievable, and so we are looking at facing that. We have competition from all over. Panama Canal opened recently. They can only take ships that are a certain size, but nevertheless, if business models change, then someone may look at that and make sure that they can be more competitive by sending goods in another place. So we want to make sure that we're the spot for all goods coming into this country, the primary spot.
Outstanding. Well, you've brought a couple of photographs or renderings with you, and let's share them with our audience. First is just a shot of the port. The port is, number 2 in the United States after L.A.?
Yes, second largest container port in the country.
Second largest container port in the United States, right here in Long Beach. let's take a look at what is this? The Inner
That's
Harbor.
Middle Harbor.
Middle Harbor.
That's that beautiful Middle Harbor.
That's a major capital construction program. I think 1.3 billion.
Yes.
Building Middle Harbor ongoing, and the next photo is, of course, of the iconic
That's our
Gerald Desmond Bridge replacement.
Yes. Yes.
1.1 billion.
Yes, we're thrilled about that. That should be completed in 2019 and opened. One of the lanes opened in 2018. It'll be beautiful when it's done.
And this will tower over the skyline of of downtown Long Beach.
It'll be the tallest point in Long Beach. It'll be a little over 500 feet, and it'll be lit up. You know, it's the only cable-stayed bridge in California. I think the second in the country, but I think it'll be beautiful. It carries about 40% of the cargo, that waterborne cargo that comes into the ports.
Well, I think it will become an iconic part of our city. And finally, we have the penguins here.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
They are, and this reminiscent of Greenport, and I believe Mario Cordero was on your Board of Commissioners at the time that Greenport was adopted, and he was one of the moving forces.
He was very instrumental. The Port Commission adopted the Greenport policy in 2005, and the first Clean Air Action Plan was done in 2006. And so the Port is very committed to sustainability, environmental sustainability, social justice for the people in our community, and so we have a number of large programs related to that.
And I know Greenport is now an accepted element of the operation of the port, but at the time it was first introduced, it was not at all mainstream.
No.
And my friend, then City Councilman Alan Lowenthal, who represented the 2nd District, whose homes were negatively impacted by port debris, and tried to get some movement on this, and he was ostracized very much politically for that, but that became a mainstream view, and wow, what a difference a number of years
makes.
A
decade makes.
A decade,
yeah. A decade.
Yeah.
I remember speaking to port commissioners prior to Mario's role about environmental sustainability, and one of the comments was, well, we're landlords, you know, and we have tenants, but look at it now and see what a difference. And one of the things that's impressed me as I've traveled with the port overseas, everybody at every port I visited has talked about our green port policy and some of the things we're doing, our mitigation grants that we're doing in the community. So we are seen as a global
And Long
leader.
Beach really set the model for Greenport. Other ports are following us, but we were the first to adopt this. It was kind of revolutionary, that there's this business thing that's involved with commerce and containers and all. We don't want to be concerned about environmental issues. We're here to move cargo. That whole philosophy has changed throughout the industry.
Well, I think people recognize also that being environmentally sustainable is good business. Our community, our port is right in the middle, in the heart of our community. A lot of ports around the globe are the same. But, you know, the genie's out of the bottle. You can't put it back in and not do this. And so we have a total commitment to continue this environmental sustainability.
Well, the next segment, we'll be meeting the new Executive Director, Mario Cordero, and then you'll be rejoining us later in the show. Stay with us. We'll be back with more of Straight Talk after these messages.
At the Port of Long Beach, we're not only delivering jobs, smart ideas, and forward-thinking environmental initiatives, we're also delivering opportunity for all of Southern California. Oh, and a clearer horizon line. To learn more, go to POLB.com, the Port of Long Beach, thinking outside the docks.
At Performance Plus Tire, you'll find we carry Toyo tires. For over 50 years, Toyo has been a world leader in the development of high-quality tires. Optimum performance, safety, and a comfortable ride. That's what makes Toyo tires great. And now come into Performance Plus Tire for a great deal on these Toyo tires. Proxys ST, Open Country AT, and Proxys 4. Toyo tires, driven to perform. Come in today and we'll install new Toyo tires on your vehicle while you wait. Performance Plus Tire on Cherry Avenue, 1 mile north of the 405 in Long Beach.
We're back, joined now by Mario Cordero, the new executive director for the Port of Long Beach. Mario, welcome to Long Beach. Congratulations on your selection for this important post.
Well, thank you, Art. It's great to be here with you.
Thanks. What made you want to come back to Long Beach, leaving Washington, D.C., and the important responsibilities you held there?
Well, first of all, as you know, I'm from Long Beach. My wife and I, Gloria being born and raised in Long Beach. Long Beach is our home. This is the city we love. And to now join a port that's a leader in many areas, a port that I've always loved, how could I ask for more?
Yeah. And of course, having served on the Board of Harbor Commissioners yourself, you have a unique understanding of the management style of a commission entity.
Sure. I think the Washington experience gave me not only a national perspective, but an international perspective, which is a different perspective in terms of how we look at this industry. And now to be part of the largest port complex of the nation, and of course the Port of Long Beach, the #2 port in the nation, is just a fantastic opportunity for me. So what I plan to do is not only understand what we need to do here at the local agenda, but combine that with the national and international agenda, which is so important to this port. I think I'm in a very good position to have that big picture here.
And as Lou Anne Bynum mentioned earlier, in your role as chair of the Federal Maritime Commission, you had a chance to interact with ports from all over the world, and so you have a unique understanding.
Oh, absolutely, and also that interaction including the major carriers of the world and the beneficial cargo owners.
Now is a challenging time, I don't need to tell you, in the port industry. A major shipper and tenant of the Port of Long Beach went bankrupt. The organization of the industry is changing as the ships get larger and larger. Cargo is being loaded in different ways, and how do you plan to address these unique challenges?
But first of all, as you mentioned, the industry has evolved in many facets. We have large vessels. When I left Long Beach as a commissioner, the largest vessel at that time was around 8,000. Now the port is receiving as much as 12, 14, and soon to be 16. Last year there was an 18,000 vessel. So I think from that perspective, there are greater challenges with regard to both the infrastructure and also competitiveness. This is a very competitive industry. So again, how I see myself working with the commission, who I'm glad that we have a stellar staff and a very commission that plays a very leading role in terms of the expectations. It's a very great opportunity for me to join and use that experience and bring it forward here.
And shippers are concerned, obviously, with time and cost, and the two translate. They save time, you're saving cost. A ship's not making any money unless it's moving cargo from A to B, and so there's a real incentive to unload quickly, load quickly, and get moving. On the other hand, as you mentioned, you're committed to the green port policy and environmental friendliness. How do you combine what seems to be two conflicting elements?
Well, the great thing about joining the Port of Long Beach is the port has proven already, as the Vice President Bynum has mentioned, the whole concept of the green port, sustainable development. So I think the port has a resume of being able to combine that. So I look forward to continue that leadership that's been exhibited here at this port. And I think, on the other hand, there is a competitive aspect to this that now is very important to the West Coast. And I think I believe I have the tools to make sure I address that. And there's three things that I think the Commission has been very clear. One is to make sure that we assure our customers, the marine terminal operators, our carriers, that we want them to thrive, because the more they grow, the more the Port of Long Beach grows. Number two, to navigate these capital improvement projects that the Vice President has referenced and the Commission. And number three, as you've mentioned, continue our environmental stewardship, which for me, it's easy for the Port of Long Beach because they have a proven resume to do that.
Vice President Bynum did mention some updates to the Clean Air Action Plan. How do you plan to meet the challenging goals that that plan involves?
Well, as you know, I was part of that process with the Clean Air Action Plan of 2006. I was very fortunate to be on a commission back then that moved that 2006 plan, and in addition, in 2010, amended the plan. So I think it's the same plan of action, engaging with the stakeholders, engaging with the community, and making sure we work with the relative government officials, elected officials, to make sure that California has played a leading role in terms of reducing emissions. And I think with regard to the port, we're glad to join that role, and we'll make every effort to make sure that we do this in a way that, again, is a balanced approach.
There have been a number of changes of leadership of the port in the last 5 or 6 years, and that's never a desirable thing for any organization. I trust you hope to bring stability to that position and as the port moves forward.
Well, like I said, as we commence our discussion, I'm from Long Beach. I'm not going anywhere in terms of any future aspirations to any other position or any other city for sure.
This might be a dream job from your standpoint.
No, absolutely. I think I will agree. It's a Cinderella story for me. So I'm here to do the work that Long Beach has always been known for, a leader in terms of business growth and a leader in terms of furthering the environmental objectives. And add that together, we're talking about sustainability.
And I know just from my personal knowledge of you and your wife, Gloria, that you both have high ethical standards, and that's a very important consideration in any decision that you make.
No, I mean, absolutely. You know, I think right now in our democracy, I think, again, the beauty of our country here is that we're a leader in so many ways, and I think the expectations of the public basically echoes of what you just said.
Okay. Well, we'll be joined by Vice President Bynum in the next segment. Stay with us. We'll be back for more of Straight Talk after these messages.
How do you like your chances the rest of the way?
I got no idea. But I do know that if we stay with Naples Rib Company, at least we won't go hungry.
Coach, what do you think about some of those questionable calls tonight?
Oh, yeah. But if you want a sound call, I'd call Naples Rib Company. You can't miss on that call.
Then Naples Rib Company is part of your game plan?
There really is nothing more motivating than a great barbecue meal at Naples Rib Company.
Victory or not, Naples Rib Company, great game plan.
Founded in 1976, Polly's Gourmet Coffee is Southern California's most complete gourmet coffee store. Polly's has the best tasting coffee, freshly roasted every day right in the store, plus a wide selection of teas, an in-house bakery, espresso bar, patio dining, and more. We also offer Wi-Fi, free internet access for all of our customers. Our nationwide clientele agree when it comes to coffee, there's only one name to remember, Polly's, 4606 East 2nd Street, welcoming you into Belmont Shore.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Charter Our Community, along with our partners at Rebuilding Together, have helped more than 1,100 homeowners in the communities Charter serves, and we're helping more every day.
Everything is fantastic. I can't believe it.
At Charter, we're committed to improving the places people call home and ensuring that families live in safe and suitable housing.
It's just a big blessing for me. Couldn't do it by myself.
Visit charterourcommunity.com for helpful home safety tips or for information on how you can get involved.
We're back, rejoined by Vice President Lou Anne Bynum. Mario, Lou Anne, I understand the port has a rather robust capital improvement plan that is the most ambitious of any port in the nation. Tell us a bit about it, Lou Anne.
Yeah, well, it absolutely is. We've got about over $4 billion worth of capital improvements going on at the port. I just read recently that there are about 9 billion in the country overall, which is pretty remarkable. We're close to half of that cost, I think. I think it speaks to our commitment to creating efficiencies for our customers and trying to be the port of the future. Got the Middle Harbor project and the Gerald Desmond Bridge. Those are our two biggest projects right now. We will be spending about $400 million this fiscal year and $400 million in the next 2 fiscal years on these projects.
It's huge, Mario, and talk for a moment about the economic impact of the port and the capital improvements and the port's operations on the economic life of the greater Long Beach community.
Well, first of all, in terms of the job market, it's responsible just on the local here in terms of 30,000 plus jobs. In terms of Southern California, you're talking about a figure of 300,000. In excess of that, and in terms of the impact in the supply chain to the nation is as much as 1.5 million. So the economic impact is huge. And that's why here in Long Beach we call this port the economic engine.
Well, you think of what a difference it makes that we as a city have a world-class port, as we do. We also have, for the record, an airport. We also have a major university. We also have top health facilities. All components that go into a vibrant city.
Well, as Lou Anne mentioned, that's the reason, the commitment for the $4 billion over the period of time that we've invested. We have a world-class terminal coming into play, Long Beach Container Terminal, referred to as the Middle Harbor. That will be and is the state-of-the-art terminal.
And one of the reasons for the construction of the bridge and the terminal are to accommodate these larger ships that are becoming increasingly adopted industry-wide. And we recently had the Ben Franklin, pictured here, stop at the Inner Harbor. And was that 18,000 TEU?
Right. It's 18,000 TEU.
Largest ship ever to dock.
Yes, in the Port of Long Beach.
Wow.
It can carry 90 million pair of shoes.
That will delight our women viewers, and they'll buy every one of them. What is it with women in shoes? I don't understand it. But what you see on the shelves of Walmart and Kmart and Costco today was packed into a container last month, and the way the supply chain works is simply incredible to me. That's going to be part of the developing efficiencies of your capital improvement plan to improve the timing of delivery.
No, absolutely. I think you mentioned a very operative word here, supply chain. I think at the Federal Maritime Commission, that's exactly what we studied and are studying, or at the federal level. And I think, as Luanne had mentioned previously, in the old days, we're a landlord-tenant port, so to speak, and by definition, what that meant in terms of just being a landlord. Yeah. But today, ports in this nation, certainly the Port of Long Beach, it's more than just being a landlord, because now you have to invest yourself in the supply chain.
And how are you going to, a year from now, Luanne, evaluate this young man sitting to your left? What are you looking for him to do? What do you want to see the port accomplish in the next year?
Well, there's no surprises. We both, Mario spoke about it just a little bit ago. We've talked about it a lot at the port. We talk with the staff about it. We want to make sure that we can grow our business, continue to grow jobs, continue to be the most environmentally sustainable port for our community as well as on the globe. That's our goal, to do that. And making sure that we're just moving in the right direction and that we are smart about pulling all of these things off. And I think we can do that.
And Mary, one of the responsibilities of a leader, and you're the leader of the port, if you will, is to get everyone on the same page, to get everyone going in the same direction, to understand. I was in the Navy. Sure. Captain needs to know that all the crew understands what the marching orders are and moving in the right direction. How do you do that?
Well, the good thing about that is the Port of Long Beach has a resume on how we do that. No matter what commission you've looked at in the past, they've been commissioners who have led. They've been executive directors who have led. I happened to be on the commission for 8 years with with a director, Dick Stanke, who was widely respected. I hope to model his way of doing things. So I think it's, again, like the good news is you're joining a leader in the organization. And for me, I think because of the aspects that we've talked about, the industry has evolved, competition is key now, and I think my experience in Washington now will bring that national perspective in terms of how we continue to grow and how we continue to lead.
The thought just occurred to me, as you know, we interview a lot of elected officials on this show, and quite a few of them are native-born Long Beachites, and many have gone to Long Beach State, and then become auditors, prosecutors, you name it, but they get a real satisfaction out of giving back to the city that they grew up in and love, their expertise in their respective fields, and it certainly occurred to me that you're doing that too.
Well, I came to Long Beach as a freshman here at Long Beach State, so it's interesting that we're in this setting, a university that I graduated from, and as you know, I married Gloria, who's born and raised in Long Beach, and part of our deal when I proposed was we have to live in Long Beach until death do us part. So, and
I have to think of Governor Deukmejian, who married a Long Beachite, Gloria, and that was one of the deals, and that brought him to Long Beach, and we all know how well that worked out. We'll be back with the rest of our show after these messages.
Phil Trainees mixes California style with continental cuisine that includes fresh seafood from around the world. Since Phil is the chef, the menu has a wide variety of pastas, salads, soups, and appetizers that feature his unique personal touch. And the Italian-American signature dishes are simply beyond delicious. You never know who you're going to run into at Trainees, from the famous sports legends on the Wall of Fame to local celebrities having a drink at the bar. For the best fine dining experience, visit Phil Trainees.
There's a world of opportunity available through the College of Continuing and Professional Education at Cal State Long Beach. Would you like to move ahead in the field of human resources and personnel management? Sign up for the Human Resources Management Certificate Program. You'll learn how to expand your knowledge and skills and advance in this dynamic industry. For more information, contact the College of Continuing and Professional Education at Cal State Long Beach.
You've been planning this moment for a long time. It couldn't be a more perfect moment. And you have the perfect ring that will tell her, I want to love you forever. But nothing is perfect.
Don't listen to that guy. He got the ring at McCarty's.
McCarty's makes a moment.
We just have a second to say goodbye and good night to both of our guests. Luanne Bynum, thank you for joining us.
Thank
Mary
you,
Cordero,
Art.
thank you. Good luck in your new position.
Thank you, Art. It's a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
And thank you guys for watching at home. Please be with us next week for the next edition of Straight Talk. Good night, everyone.
Straight Talk has been brought to you by the Port of Long Beach, the Press Telegram, and Scan Health Plan. And remember, Straight Talk is viewable 24/7 at straighttalktv.com.